As many of you guys are aware, this Jeep broke down on me like yesterday, and I'm supposed to drive it down to Arizona today, but that didn't happen. So we think we've got a quick fix to it. So Dad and I ran to the auto parts store and we grabbed some brake fluid and a clutch hydraulic to replace on the Jeep. So today we're replacing the slave cylinder, which is this part here on the Jeep. We're gonna start off by adding some DOT 3 brake fluid into the Jeep. So here's your slave cylinder. It's under there, right next to your transmission belt housing, and it's got 2 screws holding it on. Just take those out first. Top bolt seems to give us a bit of trouble. You don't get a lot of movement with, I don't even know what that is right there. I'll pull it first, but one click at a time from there. So we've uncovered a new problem with dripping transmission. Initial cylinder out. Well, the sun's setting, it's getting a little bit dark, but we'll pull this out from there. So the plunger's out, but the top piece is missing, which on the new part, we have a top piece. As you can see, there's kind of a plus sign where it used to go in the mill right there. So you can tell it needs to be replaced. And then we just pulled the pin out on this. So we're gonna pull that line out here soon. And then apparently it's supposed to start flooding all over us, but sun's starting to go down. So we are gonna need this flashlight.
But the guy on the video said to do it.
We got it. And we're trying to decide if we're putting the O-ring on it or not, but YouTube sources say that we should put the O-ring on this when we put the new one back on. But yeah, as you can see, I've got brake fluid all over myself, so yummy. Schmitty's joined the rodeo. Welcome, Schmitty.
Thanks.
So now we're replacing this. It's dripping out. I put my thumb on it, and then we put our little gate or gasket thing back in there, and then we're putting it back on like this. Just shove it back in there. And then push this down. It's leaking. So this is the problem the guy on YouTube said.
What? Doesn't look like it's leaking anymore.
Nope, it's leaking.
Okay.
Alright. Hopefully, make sure it's
in there.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what we did that worked while it was leaking is we put, there's like a little gasket O-ring. And so instead of having that inside of this piece when we put it on, we put it on this metal rod before we put it in. And we think that was like one of the biggest parts, but obviously you can see that we had a lot of issues with it leaking, but we figured it out, that's it. And then you kind of just got to give it a little bit of force to put it back in. So now we're gonna reinstall it back up here. Should be pretty quick and easy. All right, so now that that's in, I think we take out these plastic pieces on the sides, Dad.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
So we're now moving on to the bleeding stage. So you can see we've got our tool ready right here. And then what we're gonna do up top is we're gonna do about 5 to 10 pumps on the clutch here. And then I'm gonna hold it on the ground while he's bleeding it. Then I'm gonna bring it back up and he's gonna close it. And then we're gonna repeat a couple times until we have no bubbles and it's just a smooth flow from the outlet. So we're gonna do it now. Okay, so we've been pumping, and at first we were pumping and we got no pressure, but it's because there was a lot of air in the lines. So what we've been doing is we pump, I hold it down, and then he's gonna let it loose. Go ahead and let it loose, foot's down. And I feel like right there, I just felt a little release. And then once he lets it bleed a little bit more, then he tightens it back up, and then we go again. So now I bring my foot up, and then when I'm pumping now, I'm getting more pressure on that clutch. And we are back in business, baby. She's shifting, she's working. Oh yeah, gears feeling great, pedals feeling great. So a couple notes, how you'll know this is what's wrong with your car is when you're driving, your car won't be able to shift into gear. Your clutch is gonna feel like floppy on the ground, and my car was hardly able to start with it. Two things that we learned that were separate from the YouTube videos is that we put the O-ring on before we attached the line. That was important. And then it didn't feel like it was working for the first like 5 times that we bled it. And then once all the air was run through, then like we got pressure back on the clutch and it was able to, you know, function again. So we were worried there for a second, but then found out that we're good.
When you install the cylinder, the front of it is attached and held down by 2 pieces, wings that clip into the bolt holes. It took probably six or seven times of bleeding it and pumping the pedal before one side snapped off, and then it took several others before enough pressure built up that both sides equally snapped off, and then that's really when we got the pressure in it that we needed.
Another helpful tool for this was ChatGPT. I asked it every single question that YouTube didn't cover, and it helped guide me through all those questions. So, all right, so she's running great. She's shifting good. Overall review on the fix cost us $90 and probably took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Obviously it took us longer because we were asking a lot of questions, doing all the research ourselves, but I think you guys could totally do this at home with this video in about an hour is my guess. So yeah, good luck.